you guys, welcome back. Okay, so as I was going through my eyeshadow palettes, and you guys may or may not know, I do have a plethora of eyeshadow palettes, but I was kind of like getting in the whole Valentine's Day mood and feeling like, should I do some Valentine's Day looks, you know, what they want to see, any eye looks and things like that. And as I was digging through my palettes and trying to figure out which ones that I would be, you know, inclined to use for Valentine's Day, or palettes that I would gravitate towards, I said, you know what, why don't I share some of these with my people? Because maybe, I know it's kind of early, it's still early, but honestly, Valentine's Day is going to be here before you know it. And whether you celebrate it alone, with your girlfriends, with your family, with your children, with your spouse, boyfriend, fiance, whatever the case may be, I think it's fun just to kind of like get all dolled up. Even if you're not going anywhere or don't have any plans, just celebrate loving yourself, loving your family, loving your friends, your kids, whatever the case may be. I just see Valentine's Day as a day of love for everyone. So anyway, with all that being said, I wanted to share with you guys the palettes, or some of the palettes in my collection that I would be drawn towards. I'm not always typically, I know it's going to sound funny because of the eye look I have today, but I'm not always typically drawn towards pinks and reds just in general for my eyes. I love burgundy tones. I love corally tones. I love purples. And I love, as you can see, combining and mixing a lot of those colors together to create eye looks. So if you just want to sit down, hang out with me, and just kind of take a little stroll through some of my love color story type palettes, you might see some in here that you have that you forgot about, or some that maybe you're interested in grabbing if they're still available. I don't know, because I've had some of these palettes for a while, but I'm yapping a lot. Let's get into it. Okay, so I want to start out with Colourpop, because Colourpop is one who is good for a monochromatic color story. Okay, so this palette here is one that I actually have not used yet, and I really just initially was gravitated to this, the Menage a Moi. Menage a Moi, very, very pretty packaging. Of course, it gives that whole romantic vibe, right? But this is the color story of this palette. Gorgeous as well. I would say this palette would probably be appealing to someone who kind of likes a softer vibe, a more just really feminine, you know, not too harsh type of eye look. So this is a very, very pretty, gorgeous palette for something like that. Like I said, I don't know if they still sell it, probably not, but maybe you have it in your collection, or maybe putting this down on the floor, or maybe you have, you know, something similar to it, and, you know, it might be good for you. This Colourpop Flirty Talk. Now, when I bought this, I was like, girl, why'd you buy that palette? Specifically because of the fact that I really don't do a lot of red or pink eye looks. But I was drawn to this. I thought it was cute. It's definitely the Valentine's Day theme. Definitely has the reds and the pinks in here. Super light shades, super gorgeous darker shades. And it's just a really cute palette to have. So that's another one from Colourpop that I might be prone to use. Now, this is one that is a little bit different, but it's definitely something that I would use for Valentine's Day if I was going out on a nice date night with hubby or something like this. This is the After Hours palette, and I absolutely love this color story. To me, this color story is just like super duper sexy, super romantic. It's very grown and sophisticated. So it's not your typical bright pinks and reds and things like that. But this would definitely create a beautiful look for Valentine's Day, especially if you want to, you know, wear all black and maybe do something smoky and just look sexy. I really, really like that palette. Next, the Smoke and Roses. This is definitely a palette from Colourpop that I would be drawn to use for Valentine's Day, especially if I wanted something a little bit softer, maybe not too aggressive, but because of this dark row down here, you can deepen up the eye look, you know, and make it look a little bit more smoky if you'd like. But if you like a nice softer pink vibe and you don't want something too bold and crazy, this is a beautiful palette for that. As you can see, I haven't even used mine yet, and it's probably because it is so soft. And you guys know I don't really gravitate towards super soft eye looks, but I think that palette is gorgeous. Next, I have the Smoking Hot from Colourpop. Smoking hot, need I say more? Okay, so if you're more drawn to like the rusty orangey red kind of tones, you know, that kind of lean more along that line, this palette might be one that you have in your collection that you're not really thinking about. But when you look at these tones, these like muted purpley shades down here with the beautiful reds and corally tones, and it just really gives me like that kind of burnt sunset type vibe, which is always also a nice sexy vibe for Valentine's Day. Okay, a nice beautiful sunset definitely gives that. So I like this palette as well. Now, moving on from Colourpop, I'm sorry, my throat is still tripping from being sick, okay? And that's just how it is for me. It takes forever for my throat to clear up. So I apologize for me sounding a little raspy. But moving on from Colourpop, Juvia's Place. Now, you guys know Juvia's Place has a lot of palettes. They came out with these cute little monochromatic palettes quite a while ago. And quite honestly, I don't even think about them. I forget about them a lot of times, but these create some gorgeous eye looks. So this first one is the Blushed Rose. And, you know, you might have this in your collection. Really gorgeous. I think the name definitely suits it. Blushed Rose, and it has a beautiful gold shade up here that you can play around with. It's kind of like a orangey, rosy type duochrome situation. Just beautiful, beautiful shimmers and beautiful tones for a gorgeous Valentine's Day eye look. And this one, of course, because me personally, I am really, really drawn to berry tones when it comes to Valentine's Day. I like to mix a little pink in there, as you see, but the berry tones really have my heart. So this is the Berries palette from Juvia's, and as you can see, honey, it's berrylicious, and you have beautiful bright bold pinks in here as well. So this is a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. Both of these, I think, for Valentine's Day, great choices, great choices. Okay, so next I want to move on to one of my actually favorite affordable brands for eyeshadow, because they're extremely affordable and their eyeshadows are amazing. So we're talking about Beauty Bay. If you have any Beauty Bay palettes, you know what I'm talking about, because they're super pigmented, color stories are bomb, and you know, the shadows are just great and they're super affordable. So of course, I have the berries. I have the larger palettes as well. They sell these smaller, more edited versions of their super large palettes, but this one here, absolutely gorgeous. And I actually used some shades out of this palette to create this look today. And I also used this Rich palette from Beauty Bay. I kind of combined the two because, like I said, I love me some berry tones, and I also love beautiful burgundy tones mixed in with pinks. So this Rich palette is absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful pairing palette with the berries. So these two, you guys will see a video of me doing this look. If you want to check it out, it'll probably be, I don't know if it'll be before this or after this video. Who knows, maybe after. And lastly, what I picked from my Beauty Bay collection, a palette that I would gravitate towards, is the New Romantic. Now these These colors are beautiful, right? Now it has some purpley tones in here. You got your red, but it also incorporates some coral shades, and you have some deeper shades down here. I know some people sometimes like to do the anti-Valentine's Day looks where, you know, it's like a really gorgeous eye look, but it's like everything but pinks and purples and reds and stuff like that. So, you know, maybe you like to do a little different vibe. I have some more palettes for those of you who do not really like the bright pinks and reds and purples as well, because I know sometimes, you know, if those are just colors you don't wear on Valentine's Day, you want to just do a regular sexy look, a regular smoky eye, a regular soft glam, you know, those looks are gorgeous as well with a bold red lip. Child, come on now. And I have some red lipsticks as well that I can kind of show you guys, give you guys some ideas of colors that will really pop for Valentine's Day. So for someone who maybe just wants to do like something kind of basic every day, but kind of kick it up a little bit, this palette from Plan and Makeup by Yolanda, which is her exchange palette. I love the color story of this palette. It really is just a beautiful neutral palette, but as you can see, it has some gorgeous like dual chrome shimmers in there. Really, really pretty. So this is a gorgeous neutral palette to just kind of amp up a look for Valentine's Day, and I would definitely reach for that for sure. Now, this palette is actually one of, if not my favorite palette from Melt. I wonder if you can guess which one it is. But yeah, it's the She's in Parties. I love this palette from the first day that I got it and used it. It was just like, are you kidding me? And so this is, of course, not a typical red or pinky eye look, but just the beautiful kind of grungy, earthy, purpley, mauve tones in here is just so sexy. It is so sexy. And when I tell you an eye look using this for Valentine's Day, get out of here. Get out of town, okay? This palette is beautiful. And it's actually, I think, my favorite Melt palette, you know? And of course, you know, they're known for like all the greens and all that stuff, but I love that one. Now, another kind of a little more low-key. It's funny because this palette is called Naughty, but I consider this one of my more low-key, subdued palettes from Huda Beauty. I don't know if it's the packaging or what, because there's some really gorgeous, beautiful shades in here, but I don't know, this palette just gives me more just subdued, laid back, beautiful, sexy eye look, but not anything, of course, as aggressive as what I have on today, right? So yeah, this palette, definitely a great choice for a beautiful Valentine's Day look. I love it. Everything from the packaging to the color story, it's absolutely beautiful. Another palette that I feel like is beautiful with the rosy, pinky tones, but definitely a little more low-key for those of you who don't like the bright shades, is the Patrick Ta. Look at y'all, see all my mess over here, but it is the Patrick Ta, and this one is the Major Dimension 2, his Major Dimension 2 palette. And this one, funny enough, I haven't used this yet, but I have used his other Major Dimension palette, you know, and I really, really love it. So I'm going to assume that this palette, you know, is the same quality or whatever, but this is definitely a beautiful, just soft, rosy type color story for those of you who maybe don't want something as aggressive. You want something a little more neutral, a little more soft. If you have this palette in your collection, definitely reach for it, play with it, try it out. I feel like this would create a beautiful Valentine's Day look. Another one that I feel like is for those of you or this type of color story who are not into the typical Valentine's Day colors is from Blend Bunny Cosmetics. This is the Forget Me Not Versatile Eye and Face palette. And I really like this palette. It gives me like wedding vibes. I love this color story, I should say, because I definitely haven't used it yet. But it gives me like wedding vibes. Like if you were doing eye look, a face for someone who likes a more subdued, cool tone wedding vibe. It has these beautiful shimmers down here at the bottom. I'm trying to show you this without, blinding you with the mirror. But it has these gorgeous shimmer tones here that you can use for the eyes or as highlight. And of course, you have just basic neutrals. Basic neutrals. It has this super light pink here. I guess if you wanted just a hint of a super light pink. But I feel like, if you have palettes in your collection, you might not have this one in particular. That is just like, because even just looking at this, it's giving me a very romantic feel, a very romantic vibe. I'm getting definitely wedding love. So why not Valentine's Day, right? So yeah, I feel like if you have this and you don't want to do pink or red, pull it out. Now, another one, this is a different brand. This is P.Louise. Now, I have a lot of P.Louise palettes that are extremely bold. I have like an all pink palette. I have palettes that have a lot of bold like purples and burgundies and things like that. But I felt like this Fall in Love with P.Louise palette was very apropos for Valentine's Day. The packaging, of course, it has the red and the pink, the hearts and all that stuff on there. But when you open it up, it definitely gives you a myriad of options when it comes to creating a look for Valentine's Day. Over here, you even have like this green mustardy type shade, but beautiful neutrals. You have more neutrals in here with beautiful gold bronzy shimmers. And then over here, you have, of course, that gorgeous romantic pink rosy little quad right there to play with. So you can get as deep into the pink as you want, or you can back it up and just keep it nice and neutral. So this is definitely a palette that your girl would reach for Valentine's Day or date night for sure. Now, a more bold palette for Valentine's Day from P.Louise is one of these stack 'em up palettes, whatever that is. That's the name of the palette, right? Like, who names these palettes? It's not that serious. Just call it a pink palette, okay? But this is what this palette looks like. Definitely a standard Valentine's pink, beautiful palette. You have your darkness, you have your gorgeous bright pinks, you have some other shades. I really like this rosy shade right here. That is really, really pretty. So yeah, this is definitely like an easy go-to for Valentine's Day. If you have this or a pink palette, you're good to go. Okay, let's talk about some Glam Light palettes, okay? Y'all know Glam Light is really good for a themed eyeshadow palette. And funny enough, none of these are really Valentine's Day themed that I picked. Like this first one here was from their Hershey's Kiss collection, where they had the cute little kiss shaped palettes, and they had the brown one, the pink one, the blue one, the purple one. I bought the whole set, and this pink one here, I feel like is definitely perfect for Valentine's Day. This is gorgeous. Actually, it's really, really pretty. I love this gorgeous burgundy shade in here. I love the beautiful pinks and the shimmers. These are all shimmers, which are gorgeous, but you definitely have your dark, your mid-tone, your bright pink. So you can really create a gorgeous, even something similar to what I have on my eyes today. Now, I do have a really deep purple in there somewhere, but for the most part, you could definitely create a similar eye look to what I have with this palette. And I think it's cute. Also, when you're doing your makeup for Valentine's Day, I feel like it should be fun and enjoyable. even down to the makeup, the packaging, everything. I feel like it's nice if it just makes you feel like you're in that mood of making yourself beautiful for Love Day, right? Now, Glam Light came out with these Coca-Cola palettes. It looks just like a Coke can. So, so cute. This one is the cherry Coke though, okay? Because this is the one that I would typically reach for if I was trying to do a Valentine's Day look. The other one, it has like the red and black and silver, I think, in it, which is beautiful if you like those shades. But with this just being my choices of what I would choose, I love this purple option in here. I love this kind of reddy tone pink and the lighter pink. So I really just like this palette just in general. I like this color story. I like the packaging. I like the feel that I get just from looking at it. For me, it definitely says Valentine's Day, and I love that. And lastly, from Glam Light, I pulled this Betty Boop palette because I'm like, very, very appropriate for Valentine's Day, of course. Boop, boop, a doo, right? This palette has like a myriad of shades that I would be drawn to for Valentine's Day. I love the fact that there's a black in here, honey. I love these kind of purpley tone, rosy tones in there. It's like this whole quad over here gives you, you know, well, these 5 really gives you that purple option. If you want to go that direction, you have these reds in here that kind of, this one kind of leans a little more pink, it looks like, but, and then you have these lighter, more neutrally shades, you know, so you can kind of do whatever you want to do with this palette. I really like this palette. It's beautiful. I only used it once and I really enjoyed it. This palette is one of, or really an example of Glam Light's amazing formula. I know some of their palettes are better than others. I feel like this one is really an example of their amazing formula, shimmers and mattes. Okay, so anyways, the Betty Boop, perfect for Valentine's Day. Okay, so I just have a few more, you guys. I want to talk about a few more kind of like mainstream brands that you can get at maybe Ulta or Sephora. I only have a couple of them. This Charlotte Tilbury, I picked this up. This was her palette from this past holiday. Apropos, aptly named the Love palette, right? Which was interesting to me that it came out. Was it Christmas or something? But perfect for Valentine's Day. I see someone who likes more of a little bit of a sophisticated look using this. It doesn't have super duper bright pinks and reds in it, but it does have a pink. It does have the reds, you know, and I just feel like if you like a more just kind of grown and sexy, sophisticated vibe with your palettes and creating your eye looks, this is one that you should definitely pull out of your collection, reach for, use if you have it. But it's not a super unique color story. So I'm pretty sure, you know, you might have these shades in your collection already, even if you don't have this palette, because it's not extremely unique, but it is very, very gorgeous. Next palette is from Too Faced. I've had this palette for years, and I remember the first time I used it. This is the Too Faced and Marielle Amor Caliente palette, okay? When this came out, I was like, oh, that's so pretty. It's so pretty, and I just had to have it. And for me, Too Faced palettes just in general are pretty boring, right? Nothing too exciting from Too Faced. But with this palette, just a little pop of pink and red and orange, I really, really just liked it. Even with all the neutrals, you know, I liked how it looked. I like how they did the packaging, and this is definitely enough color over here to create a beautiful Valentine's Day look. So this is one that I'm like, I have to pull that. I love that palette. I really enjoy when I use this palette, and it'll give you that look without being like too aggressive as well. And let's see, is this the last? Yeah, last palette that you can get like at Ulta or Sephora or whatever. I don't know if it's still available anymore. And this is one that I have not used yet. This was my new Tarte. I believe it's their, what, I hate all of that shine. The 25th anniversary palette from Tarte. It's the Tartelette Reflections palette. But yeah, I believe this was their 25th anniversary palette. And it's this really beautiful, gorgeous, larger palette. Now this palette has a lot of different colors in it, not just pinks and purples and reds and things like that. It leans a lot towards the pink and purple side, as you can see. So if you are one who's more into pinks and purples, this might be a great palette for you to play with if you have it. But there's a lot of other gorgeous shades in here, you know, if you just like to do neutral looks and things like that as well. I love, love, love the color story in this palette. The whole palette is just a vibe. And at first when I got it, I was like, I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to keep it. It's a keepsake, 25 years, whatever the case may be. But as I looked more at the color story, I was like, no, I'm going to dig into that and I'm going to use it because it's really, really pretty. So if you're more into like the purples and the pinks, I think this is a great palette to reach for. So lastly, when it comes to palettes, I want to share with you guys some maybe not so conventional palettes from some indie brands that I absolutely love, right? So this is the Sumerian Sunset palette from Adept Cosmetics. Look at the coloring. The coloring is gorgeous. To me, it definitely says Valentine's Day, but when you open it, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. Now with this palette, oh, I would absolutely reach for this for Valentine's Day. But the thing is with these palettes, a lot from indie brands, they're shimmer shadows, they're multi-chromes, they're dual chromes, they shift. So you might look at these and see, oh, those are some gorgeous pink shimmers or whatever. But you put them on your eyes and then it's like, oh, well, wait a minute. It's green. It's orange. It's not pink anymore. You see that shift? And so with these type of shadows, I would only advise these for someone who's very familiar with multi-chromes. You're very familiar with how you want your eye look to be and you actually want it to shift. Okay, because if you're doing a whole look, maybe you're wearing a pink dress or a red dress or whatever, and you put these on your eyes and you're like, oh, I'm gonna have this beautiful pinky, you know, rosy eye look, and then you turn your head in the light and it's like, why is my eye green? Why is it orange? You know, so these are not for everybody. Okay, they're not for everybody. And typically it's not something that I would reach for on Valentine's Day unless I wanted a shift, unless I wanted an eye look to where I turn my head and 1 minute it's green and the next minute it's pink. So, but this palette I think is absolutely gorgeous, and it does have a little bit of adventure in there for those of you who might like that type of vibe, right? So next I have this palette from Nomad Cosmetics. Okay, this is their, do I need my glasses? Verona Amor y Morte palette. I probably said that wrong. I'm sorry, but this is one of Nomad's like double opening palettes, and I love it, right? Because it's basically like two different palettes in one. And so this side, which, you know, has the red covering, has these shadows in there. Oh my gosh, these reds, these corals, absolutely gorgeous. Pinky tones, beautiful. Very appropriate for Valentine's Day. And this side is for the more, you know, kind of aggressive, grungy type situation, which y'all know I could play with either side. I can play with either side, or I can, you know, play with both sides together. So when you open up both sides, this is what you get. You have your reds, corals, and pinks, your blues and purples. But yeah, this is a dream for me for Valentine's Day, because it's like, oh, do I want to go smoky? Do I want to go pinky coral? Do I want to be girly? Do I want to be tomboy? What do I want to do? So yeah, this palette here, excellent choice, I think, for Valentine's Day. I would definitely gravitate towards that palette. This palette is from Plan and Makeup by Yolando. Now, this is one that I feel like would be expected by most people to see for Valentine's Day eye look. But I don't know, honestly, if this will be my first choice, right? So this is the Love Epidemic palette from Playing and Makeup by Yolando. Gorgeous, gorgeous palette, right? Gorgeous. Beautiful. And you guys know I love super bright, bold colors. But if I was doing me personally, my actual Valentine's Day look, I would gravitate to shades more like the ones I have on my eyes. I'm more of that burgundy, deep, dark purple, smoky type vibe with a pop of pink, a pop of light, you know. So it's like if I use this palette, it would just be because I want to do a super bright, beautiful eye look. But on actual Valentine's Day, date night, all that stuff, something more rich and warm and deep like this would be my vibe, right? Gorgeous palette though. Absolutely gorgeous. Sorry if you guys can hear my fan. Your girl got a little toasty, okay? I'm like, shoot, it's a little warm in here. So I just have a couple more indie brands. This one is from Give Me Glow, okay? Now, Give Me Glow did actually redo this palette. This palette is called Two Moods. And this was the original size of the palette. Pretty larger pans. They came out with one that I think is much smaller with smaller pans, but same vibe, same color story. Absolutely gorgeous. So let's see if I can open this up. So this Two Moods palette, beautiful. You can see why it's called Two Moods. This side has more of the beautiful, gorgeous, light pinky tones. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. And then this side has more of the deep, rich, you know, purpley plum tones, and also a nice little neutral quad there. So you can kind of combine either side, you know, play around with all the shades, or you can pick and choose. Do you want more of the mauve side or more of the pinky side? So I think this palette is gorgeous. Like I said, you can do bold looks. You can do a much softer look if you're not into the bright pinks. Gorgeous, gorgeous palette. And I'm not sure if they still have the smaller ones available, but if they do, I think it's definitely worth checking out for Valentine's Day. And then lastly, I got two more palettes to show you guys. But lastly, for my indie brands, this is from Bella Beauty Bar. This is the Smoky Glam. And this palette, I actually fought buying this for a long time when it first came out, because it's a pretty pricey palette, right? And I was like, there's a lot of gray space in there. But this palette is absolutely beautiful. When you look at the color story as a whole, it's gorgeous. There's some really pretty light pink shades in here, but what I love about this palette is the purples. I love the purples, combining them with the pinks, and I'm also really into cool tones right now. You know, it's the cool tone era. So all of these grays and smokiness over here is just really, really appealing to me. And even like this shade here, it's like gray, but it's like tricking my eye into like a little bit of a green tone in there. It's just really, really gorgeous. And I think all of this says Valentine's Day. Definitely for someone who loves this type of vibe. It's beautiful. If you have this, I would say, and you know, the packaging definitely gives Valentine's Day vibes, you know, and y'all know I'm here for all the feels, right? So the last two palettes that I have to show you guys are Pat McGrath palettes, okay? I could probably almost show every one of her palettes because, honey, Pat McGrath, love her some pink and mauve and rosy and dusty rose, don't she? She love all them colors, okay? But the two that I pulled from my collection are Motherships. This one is the Mothership 8, I believe, Divine Rose 2. If I'm mistaken, my apologies. But this palette, I think, is beautiful. I really, really love, she has like, you know, some of these shifty shades in here. So 1 minute it looks green, 1 minute, see? 1 minute it looks green, and the next minute it looks light pink. Gorgeous. I love that. But this little 6-pan situation over here, definitely beautiful Valentine's Day look. Absolutely gorgeous. And like I said, if you like that shifting situation, you know, with her specialty shades, this one is really pretty as well. But right here, beautiful Valentine's Day look. Gorgeous, smoky, get that bright pop of pink too if you like that. So yeah, this one. And then the other one that I pulled is my Mothership 11 Sunlit Seduction. Okay, was this the last one? Since there hasn't been any Motherships in a while, I don't remember if there's 11 or 12. This might be the last one. I don't know, but it's the Sunlit Seduction. And this one, look at this color story, okay? Child, this screams Valentine's Day for just the sexy, sophisticated, you know, I'm not trying to do too much, but I'm about to do a lot type personality, right? That's just how I feel. I feel like even though it's not super bright, super bold, these pinks in here, these mauve, rosy, just dusty, neutrally, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. It's beautiful. Oh my gosh, I'm just looking at this like, child. This palette is gorgeous. It is. And it screams Valentine's Day to me. So yeah, if you have this Mothership, take it on out, honey, and use it for your Valentine's Day look. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about a few other things that, you know, are wonderful to like use for Valentine's Day if you're into that type of vibe. Now for me, the scent that I'm loving right now is this Kayali. This is the Bougie Marshmallow. Have y'all smelled this? Have y'all smelled? You can see I got a nice little dent in there already. Child, this stuff smells like a soft, fluffy, decadent, just dessert. If you want to smell like, just come and eat me up, that's this right here. This is Bougie Marshmallow from Kayali. If you like sweet scents, I think you will love that because I love it. Okay, so anyways, just a few more. I have a couple of smaller like shimmery palettes. Like say like you just want to do like a soft crease, a nice neutral crease, but you want a real gorgeous topper. This Desert Lights palette from Flower Beauty. Okay, I wanted to show this one because this one has like some really gorgeous like semi pinky tone shades in there, but also some really beautiful like neutral shades. And I feel like if you have this palette along with another palette and you just want to create a nice, beautiful lid with a more subtle, just soft type of, you know, crease, then these shadows are really pretty. I just think that they create a really pretty look. If you're more into the subdued, you want to have a slight pinky hint, but you know, a more subdued type vibe, but you still want your lid to pop. I think these are gorgeous for that. And so I just wanted to mention those just in case you have that palette sitting around. Now this is new to me. I've been seeing these all over Instagram. It's NABA. And they keep showing these gorgeous, beautiful little palettes. And it has like, you know, you put it on the lid and it's that really pretty, like ethereal type vibe when you put it on your lid. And I thought these were gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous for Valentine's Day. These will really give your lid that beautiful ethereal pop. You know, especially like in low light, if you're going out to dinner, you know, on a date or something, you know, with your partner. It's like, these are really pretty. Now, these little palettes were not cheap. They weren't super duper expensive for what they are, but to me, I don't know if they're completely worth what they cost. I don't know if you can see that. It might be a little blurry, but definitely gives a beautiful, just ethereal look on the eye, right? This next single shadow I got from Odin's Eye. This is the only single shadow that I purchased from Odin's Eye, and I believe it's called Leon. And this is their gorgeous, beautiful red shimmer. And when I saw it, because I don't have in all the palettes and all of the single shadows that I have, I do not have a red like this. Okay. This is a red, like a true red, beautiful shimmer that, honey, listen, I have a lot of different shimmers that are red tone and things like that, but this is a true red, to where it's like, you know, it's not competing with a base of a different color. It's not competing with being too light, too orange, too blue, too purple. This is a red. And so I just wanted to show this because some people like to really get down with the true red for Valentine's Day, honey. And I love it. I love it. I'm not typically a red eyeshadow wearer, but when I do like another bold cut crease, I'm definitely going to play around with this because, honey, that is gorgeous. And like I said, that's the only single shadow that I bought from Odin's Eye. Now, I did pull out my little new Patrick Ta. This one is I'm With Her. Okay. And of course, this is the gorgeous pink one. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay. Whether you feel like these are worth the price or not, there's no denying that these pink shades are absolutely gorgeous. And you know, look absolutely beautiful on the eye, you know, whether in low light, regular light, whatever the case may be. They are really, really gorgeous pink shades. Really, really pretty. And I'm not saying I don't have anything in my collection that is not, you know, comparable to this, but these really, really shine and they really, really do their thing in that low light, honey. In that low light, can't nobody fool with it. Can't nobody fool with it. Now, if you do like more of that like mauve purpley type vibe for Valentine's Day, more so than the pinks and the reds, I have like a couple of really pretty gorgeous shimmer shadows from Moira. This one is one of their chroma lights, and this one is called Lilac Love, if I'm reading that correctly. Lilac Love. So this is really pretty, you know, for that gorgeous lid topper as well, you know, on your eye. Really, really pretty if you want to mix that in with some pinks or purples. This is one of Elf's liquid shadows, and this one is in the shade Little Dipper. And I thought that this one would be really, really pretty, you know, if you're doing like a pink eye look and you wanted to have one of those super, you know, pretty shiny light pink colors on your lid. Absolutely gorgeous. So that's what this one is, Little Dipper from Elf. Pull that out if you have it. Now these two shadows from Too Faced, these are part of their Disco Crush shadows, and I feel like these two will be absolutely gorgeous. This first one here is Mystic Pink, so let me show you. That's what that looks like. And of course, as you can see, it has like that gold and pink rosy kind of duo or multi-chrome. I don't know if these are duos or multi-chromes, but I'm gonna swatch that one there. So this one is really, really pretty. Really, really gorgeous for a sexy eye look. Beautiful. And you know, this lighting is not even doing it justice, because you know, in that lower light, it looks even more gorgeous. And this one is called Heart Eyes. So this is what Heart Eyes looks like. So it looks like that one has a little bit more of that pinky shift in there. Oh, that is really gorgeous. That is really pretty. So you can kind of see the shift a little bit in my lighting, but yeah, absolutely beautiful. Has that rosy gold tone to those. So those two are beautiful. And then for a little bit more easy on the pocketbook, I have some of these shadows that I got from, were these Shop Miss A? It's like they're dupes for the Colourpop Super Shock shadows. I don't know if they're dupes, but very, very similar, as you can see. And so this is the AOA Venetian Romance creamy eyeshadow, and this one is in the shade Jewels. And this is another one where if you know, you can definitely use it with pinky tones, and it doesn't look like much, but they are very, very creamy to the touch and super duper pigmented, as you can see. Very, very pretty. Maybe you like something that is not as sparkly as the other ones I showed, but you want something really pretty, more like on the lilac side, or you can mix it, you know, with pinks and reds if you want as well. So they have a whole plethora of shades of these if you want to check them out. I think they're only like maybe $1 or $2 from Shop Miss A. Very, very affordable. Much more affordable, obviously, than the Dazzle shadows that I showed you, but not as dazzly, right? So lastly, I wanted to just kind of take a look at some of the lipsticks that I would kind of gravitate towards. If you guys are familiar with me, you know that I'm not really a lipstick type chick. I really am a liner and lip gloss type person. And so, you know, it's kind of like, if I do put on a lipstick, it's because you know, really feel like I need to put one on with my eye look. But let's just start out with these 2 Fenty lipsticks. Now, these were 2 that she came out with, the 2 different red shades. I know she wore one, you know, for her Super Bowl performance. So one of them is the MVP and the other one is HBIC. So this one is HBIC. I'm gonna swatch this one first. And this one, gorgeous, gorgeous red shade for Valentine's Day. Child, absolutely beautiful. I think I would probably be more drawn to this one. And I will only do a red lip, just me personally, if I was doing just a basic smoky eye, a neutral smoky eye, then I will pop on a red lip. So this one is MVP. I believe this is the one that she wore, you know, for her Super Bowl performance. More bright, more just true red. You know what I mean? Like, looks more of like that blue tone type red. Gorgeous. I mean, either one really is really pretty. Now that I'm looking at them, either one I would reach for with just like a basic smoky eye or whatever. Now, sticking with Fenty, this was one of her cream lipsticks. You know, they have the gloss bombs, and then these were like the cream gloss bomb vibes. I can't read the name on here, it's too small, but I'll put it on the screen. And so this one has like a gorgeous, gorgeous red tone to it, and I just want to show you that. So that's gorgeous as well. Beautiful red tone gloss if you do like more of the shiny, glossy type lip. That might be, you know, better for you. Also, maybe you like pink better than red. You know, this is one that I would probably gravitate towards more so than the red. Obviously, I have on a pink and kind of burgundy, purpley eye look. Let me see. Yeah, see, I already have lipstick and lip liner on, but this gloss actually looks really pretty with this eye look. And as you can see, it's nicely opaque. Even though I already have, you know, lip color on, you can still see that pink. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I would say, if you like pink, this would be a great option for you. Now, she came out with some new shades in her Fenty gloss bombs, and this one, so pretty. I'll have the names on the screen, honey, because I ain't trying to read this super small writing. This one, oh, I can't even deny it is so pretty to me. You know, it has like that deep pinky plum type look. Really pretty if you like a gloss. I mean, when I say she came out with like some bangers as far as colors go with lip products, she definitely did. Now, this is new to my collection. This is a Anastasia Beverly Hills lipstick, and Very beautiful, light, dusty rose. This is something that I would definitely be more apt to gravitate to because, like I said, you guys know I love my lip liner in just a nice, beautiful, light, neutral shade. So I'm trying to look in the mirror and, you know, just put this on here. This is more of you know, it's not shiny or anything. Very beautiful, comfortable matte lipstick. And as you can see, look at that color. That is beautiful. That gorgeous, like, dusty rose shade. I'm sorry, my swatch is just terrible. But if you like a more matte lip, something more beautiful and nude, then this one definitely will be up your alley. It's really, 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 really pretty. So I love that. And then also these Morphe Drip Glass lip glosses. Say like you like something a little more on that neutral side, but you want a gloss. Maybe you want to top that with a gloss, or maybe you want to just wear a lip liner in a gloss. The Morphe lip glass, as you can see, definitely has some opacity to it. You can see the color. It's not just clear. And perfect for a beautiful Valentine's Day lip. Lastly, I wanted to share just a couple of Colourpop. Now with the Colourpop lipsticks, you know, Colourpop stuff comes in, they'll release it with a collection and then it's gone. You can't get it anymore. It's just gone. So I'm just talking about my own personal makeup collection in general, right? So I had these little cherry clips. They came out with some collection that was like cherry themed or whatever, and I had these cute little cherry clips in my hair earlier when I was doing my makeup look, and so it reminded me of these lipsticks here. This one is called Double Cherry, and this one is actually a lip stain. So honey, if you don't want your lips to be red all night per se, you might not want to use any of their stains, because they definitely do stain. But you see how true cherry red that is. Absolutely gorgeous. It will look beautiful on the lips. And so I do have that in my collection. I have this bullet lipstick. This is from Mented, and I actually have had this for quite a while. Let me tell you what shade this is. This is Red Rover. So it's just a regular bullet lipstick. Is Mented still in business? Huh. It's been so long since I have seen them or purchased anything from them. I'm not sure. But anyways, this is from Mented Cosmetics. Had this for a very long time. And this is more of that like deep kind of, it's just like a true regular bullet lipstick, but that's just one that's not so bright. If you want something a little bit more toned down, nice matte lipstick, I have this Red Rover, you know. But you know, you can pull any red lipstick that you love out of your collection, and honey, they all do the same thing. So yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys the items that I pulled out of my collection to play around with for this upcoming Valentine's Day. Let me know, what are some of your favorites? What palettes do you love to use? What other products do you like? What fragrance do you like? Just, you know, what you like to do, and what, if you have a signature go-to look for Valentine's Day, let us know. Okay, what products do we need to be checking for? So yeah, that's it, you guys. Also, let me know if you guys want to see a couple of Valentine's Day looks. Like I said, this one is going to be up, but I don't know if I'm really going to do like a whole bunch of Valentine's Day looks. I'm actually going to be going on vacation. So if I'm gonna do them, I need to do them now, because I'm going to be out and about around that time, you know, right before Valentine's Day. So anywho, let me know if you guys want to see a couple of looks. Maybe I'll do 2 or 3, and we can have some fun with some of these palettes. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Toodles!